All right, the Energy Efficient Communities Program, the Food and Beverage Manufacturing Business Grants. Let's jump into the guidelines and see what we need to do. So there is about 2,000 grants available up to $25,000 to get this energy efficiency grant, with obviously the objective to improve energy efficiency, reduce greenhouse gases. So let's scroll down to some of the things you can do. So replace existing equipment, energy audit, monitoring, optimization. So pretty standard stuff here. Okay, so here we got $40 million over 4 years. And so with the average grant of let's say $18,000, you're going to be getting around 2,300 grants that they're going to give out. So there's plenty of money and there's no much funding requirement. So here we are, 100% of the project expenditure. So quite rare to get a grant like that. So minimum 10 grand, maximum 25,000, and you've got 12 months to do it. So let's scroll on. Eligibility. So basically a company, if you're a manufacturing company, now this is obviously targeted to food, because that's one of the key government criteria, also priority areas is food manufacturing. So if you're in food, which one you're going to be in. So have a look at that. And who is not eligible? So basically the packaging area, cafes, and that's more ag focused, like those ones there. And the focus areas. So look at the focus areas. If you're trying to put on a wind farm or something, probably not, but just look at, does it fit in the criteria? Now there's a whole criteria all the way at the end. Let's scroll down, and in section A or appendix A. So you got your audits, energy monitoring, obviously motors, conveyors, blowers, they use a lot of energy, any power, so power correction and efficiency, and any process automation. So pretty standard stuff. You can go through and see where your project fits in that. So what else would I take on from this? You've seen if you're eligible, you've seen what area from, you've made sure your project is eligible, you've obviously got more than $10,000 worth of expenditure. So you don't need to go and spend, if you're spending 200 grand, maybe make it a smaller portion, because you may be able to go for another grant to get the other stuff. So you've already received a grant for part of it, or all of it, even though that's only $25,000, you can't get a grant for something else for the same project. So therefore, we can't do things like solar panel, and I imagine there's wind I mentioned there earlier. Okay, so let's go on to the application. You've only got a few weeks to do this one. Let's go on to the application form. Okay, so it's all done online. These days it's just a sample. Let's scroll through and see where the interesting areas would be. So eligibility we've discussed, tick off which you are, address, pretty simple. Some standard things they ask. This is more for the ABR and just putting in criteria for reporting down in the future. So export revenue, none of it's actually measured in your ability to get this grant, but that's just like to record stats. So project title, energy efficiency, modernisation, similar to that. Project description, just talk about what you're going to be installing, and then because that will be more likely published, that one there. And then a description is you're going to install 5 new motors or blowers or something like that, and it's going to save however many watts per year, something like that. They also want you to select a criteria or a focus area. So, and the same will be done for the costing. So you might do an audit first, you might do some monitoring for a bit, and then you may go and change it. Normally, if you wouldn't do all 3, because you're not going to know what you're going to buy at that point in time if you're going to do an energy audit. But this may be good just to do your audits, and then come in at another time for another grant, because you're only getting the $10,000 to $25,000. So once again, the focus areas. Let's scroll it on. Did I pass anything too quickly? No, nothing too. Okay, so detailed description. and they've basically given you the template, replace an existing equipment item with higher efficiency equipment. That's pretty much it. So very simple. You don't need to spend a lot of characters on this. It's a simple, this is what I'm installing, this is what it's going to save in terms of energy. And once again, you don't need to go to 5,000. This is not like the other competitive grants where you've really got to say why you're going to get it. They've got over like 2,300 grants available. So a lot of money. I don't think it's going to be oversubscribed, but yeah, make sure you put in how much power saving it's going to be. They may have to resort to look at the criteria. Putting the budget, if you're going to span financial year, you're probably going to span a financial year, because I'll probably award them money maybe before the election, so maybe March. No, actually, March is too early, so maybe June, July, but also maybe September. So I should probably just aim to do it in the. I've only gone to 22. I would be surprised if they're going to award this before the election. But just put in, say you spend it all within this financial year. Source of funding. So if you're going to spend a lot of money on a project and it's going to go over the $25,000, you've got to say where the money's coming from. I don't think you have to provide evidence. Just say that you've got it cash in the bank. And there's a bank account details for the grant. They're going to give you the money. No conflict of interest, hopefully. From the contact page, that's pretty much it. So very simple application. Yeah, get into it, give it a go.